and welcome to Vaginal Mesh Story Time. So as you can see, we've upped it a little bit today. I have had a beautiful vaginator made by my amazing creative friend Justine Fiton. You can see that it sports some vaginal mesh there, which was excruciatingly placed on using some pins, which she wasn't very happy about doing. I had actually asked her to cut into the vagina to put them in beautifully in place, but as you can imagine, she was quite reluctant to do that, quite upset after making such a beautiful thing. Anyway, today we're in my bedroom for the filming of this, and as you can see, there's a sort of the normal selection of pain relief by the bed, some tiger balm, which is quite nice actually, I found is quite lovely, some fairy lights to make it a bit more lovely in here. And today's story is the second story, but it's a standalone story. It does take about 10 minutes, so if you'd like to bear with it, that would be really great. And it's kind of a story for the friends, families, any interested parties to realise the kind of painful reality of having a mesh implant, and really one of the biggest, oops, you can tell I'm doing this in my bedroom. One of the biggest losses for a lot of women, apart from their health, their jobs, is their sex lives. Yeah, so it's sort of mass genital mutilation for thousands of women, actually. So this is a little story called The Painful Reality Vaginal Mesh. And it starts like this. Once there was a woman who trusted a man. He promised her a wealth of dry underwear, a life free from little accidents. "This operation changes women's lives," he said, regarding the TOT, transobturator tape for stress urinary incontinence. Other tapes are available, TVT, other things. He wafted a leaflet about the operation under her nose, and even though he was a bit of an old-school mansplainer, arrogant with a bit of a messiah complex, she trusted him because he was the surgeon. The surgeon. He wouldn't put her at risk, would he? He wouldn't use an unsafe device, would he? He wouldn't use untested stuff, spiky stuff, poisonous stuff, would he? No, because he's a surgeon. A number of his phrases stuck in her mind with strength and credibility. "Some women have had problems with this operation, but I've managed to sort them out. I've done this operation thousands of times. There are some women on the internet who are trying to ban this operation, but really that's sad for the thousands that it's worked for. Don't watch the video on YouTube though, or you'll never do it. And most importantly for her, because she was really fit, you'll be back on your bike in 3 weeks. What a lie." It's odd though, he never actually told her what the risks might be. Just that sometimes it might not work out, or it might need something sorting out. She only found out what the risks actually were for her 2 years later, when she saw a letter that the surgeon had sent to the GP, and it read like this. The paragraph that surprised her said, "I have discussed the success rate, the reoperation risks, together with the risk of pelvic organ damage, chronic pain, dyspareunia, and mesh erosion and rejection, but she still wishes to proceed." WTAF. What the actual fudge? What the actual fudge? If any person without a life-threatening condition was offered that selection box of possible outcomes, would you? Would you actually wish to proceed? She wouldn't have. She absolutely wouldn't have risked all of that for dry knickers. So anyway, let's return to the story of our woman. We find her in hospital, waking from the TOT operation, Vag Mesh. It hurt. She was in agony. She could not move her right leg. She wailed, disturbing the other patients in recovery, and so the nurse ran over to her with some morphine. She couldn't walk for hours. She leant on the wall, bleeding, crying, and pissing standing up. 3 people walked in on her, and she collapsed with pain and embarrassment. Oops, sorry. She went home. For weeks, her family looked after her, but when no one was around, she sobbed. She'd gone into hospital, fit, healthy, and quite liking a bit of sex, and so did her husband. But now she was in constant pain. She had pain in her buttocks, in her bum. Her bum constantly felt tight, like it was ripping. And as for her sex area, her vagina, her lady garden, well, it felt mutilated. She had dyspareunia. Oh yes, in case you didn't know what that was, neither did she until she read it on her doctor's notes. And it means sex pain. Sex pain. The months passed. She went crying to her GP a number of times. I'm only 41 and I've exchanged slightly peeing myself a few times a day for constant pain and painful, well, horridly not okay sex. And I never, ever, ever would have wanted that. She went back to her surgeon. He tried steroid injections into the sling, well, actually into her labia and her vagina. It worked for a bit, but then it wore off. Still, he never ever called it the mesh, interestingly. He always just referred to it as the tape. And whenever she pointed to the areas where it hurt, under her bum or in her thighs, he said, but that's nowhere near the tape. In memory of the great woman Babette Cole, fantastic illustrator, she remembered that adults fit together in lots of different ways. So they tried, maybe not on a skateboard, they tried lots and lots of different positions. Some with success. It's private. However, mainly it was sad. It was really, really sad. They felt grief for what they had once had. After nearly 2 years of this, pain, grief, missing time with her family, missing time with her friends, and finally finding it increasingly hard to sit down, lying in bed was one of the best places to find comfort, she was about to have a hysterectomy, his next theory on how to get rid of the sex pain. Sex pain? Sex pain? What the fuck? He was a fucking sex pain. She was at a very, very low point when she suddenly thought, why am I letting this man chop and chop and chop and try to fix me? She gave herself a massive talking to. Why are you being so crap about this? Why have you handed yourself over to this arrogant man? Why are you being such a fudging ostrich? But she was also kind to herself. Because I trusted him. Because I felt ill-equipped to challenge his massive medical prowess and his enormous ego. Oh, and because I was tired. I was busy. I was trying to keep positive. Kids, work, and I just didn't have the time to get too involved. Too involved? Too involved? Suddenly she heard what she'd said. What? Too involved? For fighting for her own body? This shit has got to change, she said to herself. The next day, she called her wonderful GP for a second opinion referral. And then she did what her surgeon had actually dissuaded her from doing, which was to go online and to look at all those other women who'd had problems, the ones that were trying to ban the operation. She went on to the World Wide Web. Fuckety fuck. There were thousands of women, thousands of mesh-injured patients standing and screaming and trying to ban this fudging operation. And she had had it done in March 2017 when lots of women were having it done. It was pretty much banned a year later, currently under medical review, as many of you know. I'll try not to get too cross. Anyway, all the women had unique and devastating stories. It was excruciating to see. What an idiot I've been, she thought. This is all my fault. Why did I trust him? She went round in circles a bit. Why did I trust him? Oh, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. Why did I trust him? Anyway, she got over herself. She got her shizzle together. She joined mesh support groups and she got educated. And now she is waiting for nothing. She is not waiting to heal or find that little girl inside herself. She is looking in the mirror and there she is, the woman who is going to get her life back, the woman who is going to get her body back, the woman who is going to fight for this. You are that strong, all of you. You are all going to get your bodies back in whatever form they are. They are yours and you are all going to fight this. Thank you.